Good evening, brothers and sisters. Good evening to our dear elders, lecturers. To formally start our program for tonight, let's all sing the Chunaguk anthem. To lead us for the opening prayer, may I request Ate Regina.
Good evening. Please join me in prayer. Ako ba? Biglang ganun. Ako ba, Miss Bell?
Yes po, Ate. Thank you po.
Please join me in prayer. Good evening, our most loving Heavenly Parents and true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Father, today is the second day of the sixth batch 21 day online DP lecture series. Please, we pray, Heavenly Father, for the participants' open heart to receive your words, and that let the good ancestors guide thee, and your spirit, Heavenly Father, to guide them in order to understand better the lecture, so that we also uh, pray for the lecturers that they will be able to convey your words, Heavenly Father, through you, through the lecture. Father, as always, Heavenly Father, you have chosen us and we wanted to make ourselves worthy of your um, of having chosen us, Heavenly Father. And we are grateful, Heavenly Father, that we are living today uh, and breathing the same air as our true parents. Father, means through this endeavor, through this activity, and through this seminar, we will be able to become a better sons and daughters of yours. Heavenly Father, I pray this and report this in behalf of all the six batch participants, mm, the FUTA lecturers, and staff. In the names of Ray and Regina Telengo, as well as family, Aju.
Andrew, thank you so much, Paul. So before we formally begin our program, our lecture for tonight, we will be reviewing the basic meeting guidelines. So, yeah. So here are the basic meeting guidelines that we all should ponder while while we are on the online divine principle lecture series. So start. So there are five things that we have to know when we are in the meeting or in the session. So the first one is the time. So every time we should all be courteous. We should all be punctual. So we should always be on time and as much as possible, don't be late. If it's possible, all brothers and sisters are encouraged to join the meeting at least 5 minutes or 15 minutes before 7:30, and that way we could still prepare our hearts to receive the lectures. Ayan. And then the second one is to mute ourselves. So if you don't know where the mute button, but brothers and sisters, it's on the left, it's on the very left bottom part of your screen. If you're using your laptop or computer, it's also in the left part, and as well as on your cell phones if you are using your phone. So everyone is encouraged to mute yourselves, especially during the lecture, since it would help our lecturers not to get distracted, and it's also a way and a form of attending throughout the session. And the third one would be to turn your video on. So everyone is once again encouraged to turn your video on as much as possible. I know, brothers and sisters, that there are we have different internet stability, but as much as possible, if kaya naman ng internet natin, I hope we all could open our videos, and that way it would not feel so bare, and our lecturers and our as well as our elders and our leaders will see all of us. And in that way, we could also monitor you, brothers and sisters, if you are really listening and if you're really paying attention to the lectures. So once again, it's also a form of attendance. So and then the video button, so the yeah, is found next to the mute button. So I hope we all are well versed to this one. And then the fourth one, brothers and sisters, is to rename yourself. So I hope, brothers and sisters, that we could always use our real names. In that way, we could monitor and check everyone for the attendance. So use your real name, brothers and sisters, and next to your real name is the the church that you are attending to, so, or connecting with. So yun, brothers and sisters. And then the last one is to um, if you have questions and reflections, please feel free to raise your hand. Yeah, raise your hand. I think you can raise your hand, naman. It's found in one of the reactions. So if you have questions and if you're being called for reflection, please don't be shy and just be yourself. So yun lang. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I hope everybody is reminded before we start our lecture for tonight. So I hope everybody can open your cameras, rename yourselves, and then unmute yourselves as well. You will have your turn to you will have your turn to unmute yourself when you will be called. So, brothers and sisters, I'm asking everyone to please open your cameras. For this juncture, we will be having a picture taking. So, yun. Brothers and sisters, hello. Naririnig po ba ako? Nasan ba yun? Hi, everyone. How are you? Have you eaten it? How are you, Joe? Ate, pwede ko sa attendance sheet, please, 7 minutes. Okay. For the rest of the brothers and sisters who can open your cameras, please open your cameras unless there are technical difficulties or technical problems. So, yun. Yun lang po. I hope we could all comply. Brothers and sisters, Kuya Ken and Kuya Sandrick Kyle, I hope you can open your cameras po. And that way we can also already start after this. Okay. Okay. Wear your best smiles, brothers and sisters. So please prepare your best smile with you. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Smile, brothers and sisters. Si Kuya na magpipicture. Magdidid sa atin ng picture.
Okay, smile. 2x2 picture. 3, 2, 1. Okay, next. Vision 2027. Sumni, sumni, sumni. Yan alam na. And next. Ibaragi. Yeah. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for cooperating. So, if possible, I hope you could maintain opening your cameras tonight. So to jump to the next part of our program, we will be having we will be having the lecture. Wait lang, wala pa si Kuya. Kuya, magla-lecture na po ba? Pagkamustahan mo na po.
Yeah, I think magre-lecture
We
na.
still
Okay.
have time to talk. Mataas-taas yung lecture. Sige.
Medyo.
So yun, to formally introduce our lecturer for tonight, he is none other than one of the best lecturer in UPTA and also in this lecture series, and he's also a founding member of the Universal Peace Training Academy. So Universal Universal Principal Training Academy, my bad. So let's all welcome none other than our very own, the most powerful and very energetic, dynamic lecturer, Kuya Herwin Talinawan. Let's all give him a round of applause. Welcome!
Inubunagan, wala pa. Naubo ko pag ano, during lecture. Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening to our lecturers, especially our BFB Education Director, Sir Randy Ami. And so, yeah, welcome, brothers and sisters, to our second day of our 21 days meeting. So, let me thank you, Bea. Grabe introduction. Para ako na pressure. Let me show. Nakabahan pa rin ako. Ito. Okay, so good evening once again, and now we will proceed to last meeting. Um, we started with introduction of divine principle, and now mag-start tayo sa chapter 1 ng divine principle. Part 1 ng divine principle, chapter 1, which is the principle of creation. So since ano kasi, napakahaba ng principle of creation, chapter 1, so we decided to divide the lecture 3 chapters for 2 meetings. So yun. Ang lecture I will be discussing today. I will be giving the lecture about the section 1, 2, and 3. So yun. And then the 4, 5, and 6, section 4, 5, and 6 will be next meeting. All right. So let's begin with the principle of creation, chapter 1. Pinakaunang chapter ng divine principle. So I think di naman lahat yan. Some of us here don't know the principle yet. So that's quite medyo mahirap pag ano pag hindi mo masyadong alam yung principle, but I will try to explain it. Let's study the principle together. I'm not just a lecturer here, but gusto ko yung concept being a teacher, kasi we will give and take with each other. So if ever magtanong ako sa inyo, I hope na sagutin niyo rin. So I will be learning, you will be learning from me, and then I will be learning from you guys. So let's join this together. Let's proceed. The principle of creation. So gaano ka-importante we as a member, and if we are not member, gaano ka-importante, what is the meaning, what is the principle of creation? What are the laws of the creation of God? First and foremost, tanong muna natin sa sarili natin, meron bang God? That's the first question before we can proceed to the next. Does God really exist? That's the question. Kasi, so that we can be able, sabi dito, throughout history, people have anguished over the fundamental questions of human life and the universe without arriving at satisfying answers. Diba? We have a lot of problems in our life. We have a lot of questions about the universe. Kung ano yung my life ba outside the outside Earth, kung may nag-exist ba na life doon, or yung sa paligid natin, hindi man lang natin maintindihan. And if we understood it, it's not that not fully. So marami pa rin tayong tanong. We have this question, especially we as a human being, if we struggle, if maka-encounter tayo ng difficulties sa buhay natin, we have a lot of questions. Tapos, paano ba ito i-resolve na to? Bakit paulit-ulit yung problema na to? And yeah, we don't have these answers that satisfy us until now. Kahit ngayon may problema pa rin tayo, right? We have these questions in life and the universe without knowing the answer yet. So, in order for us para ma-solve itong lahat ng problema na to na nasa sa mundo natin, sa paligid natin. So this is because no one has understood the root principle by which humanity and the universe were originally created. The root principle kung saan tayo galing, kung paano tayo ginawa, at kung ano ang purpose, kung bakit tayo ginawa. Kung meron mang gumawa sa atin. Hindi natin to, like for example, ano bang purpose mo dito? Of course, hindi natin alam. Kasi hindi natin alam kung anong purpose na gumawa sa atin. So, iintindi natin to the root principle about life, about why we exist here. Pero paano natin malaman yung root principle? Iintindihin natin kung sino si God. My question is, meron ba ditong hindi niniwala kay God? May atheist ba dito? Parang gano'n. Pwede kayo sumagot? Okay, wala. So, buti naman, hindi mapahaba yung ano natin. Okay lang. All of you believe in God. Now, the next question is, paano natin aalamin kung sino si God? Kung ano ang characteristic ni God? So, to approach this topic properly, it is not enough to examine the resultant reality. The fundamental question is the causal reality. So, hindi lang natin, para mas maintindihan natin yung nasa paligid natin, yung mga nakikita natin, at para ma-resolve yung problema natin sa buhay. Diyos ko, problema talaga. Kailangan nating alamin who is the cause of everything. Sinasabi natin, God. Who is God? Kung sinasabi, okay, yung God kasi, that's an English term. Sabihin natin Yahweh, sabihin natin Allah, sabihin natin gano'n. Kahit ano pang pangalan niya, ang bottom line dyan is God. Who is Allah? Who is God? The problems concerning human life and the universe cannot be solved without first understanding the nature of God. Kung maiintindihan natin si God, brothers and sisters, maintindihan natin kung ano ang purpose natin, kung sino tayo. Who am I? So, kaya, we will study here in the first section of the Divine Principle, Chapter 1, the dual characteristics of God in the created universe. Alamin natin si God. So, are you excited? Sino ba si God? So, tatawagin na ba natin siyang God? If after we know about this lecture, the dual characteristics of God. Let's see. So how can we know the divine nature of invisible God? Hindi natin nakikita si God, but how can we know? Let us study here in the divine principle. One way to fathom his deity in Romans chapter 1, verse 20. In order for us to fathom his deity is by observing the universe which he created. Para mas maintindihan natin si God, it is written in the Bible. Not only in the Bible, it's written also in the Quran, in other scriptures of the other religions. Sorry, kasi we are ang binibase natin dito is 3-hour manual, and so I'm supposed to make my own PowerPoint with the different scriptures in different religions to prove that this scripture in the Bible not only written here, not only written in the Bible, also written in other scriptures. So yun. But yeah, let's focus here in the 3-hour manual. So everything in the created universe is a substantial manifestation of some quality of the Creator's invisible divine nature. So the substantial manifestation, sa lahat na nakikita natin, that is the substantial manifestation of the invisible Creator. The substantial manifestation of the divine nature of the invisible God. Just as we can come to know the character of an artist through his work, so we can understand the nature of God by observing the diverse things of creation. So, para maintindihan natin si God, bottom line, para maintindihan natin si God, tingnan natin yung creation. Tingnan natin lahat ng bagay. Pero napakaraming bagay, di ba? So, i-generalize na lang natin. Lahat ng nasa paligid natin. Tingnan natin. Pero babalik tayo sa pinaka-basic. The basic laws and basic principle even we can study in science. So here, kung titingnan natin, common elements in the natural world. This is not only in religious term, but this is also scientifically, we have this positivity and negativity. Do you agree with me? Whether you agree with me or not, you have to. Kasi bakit? This is based on science. That this is the laws of science. Not only the laws of science, but this is the laws of the laws of creation, the principle of creation. So let us begin by pointing out the common elements. So ano yung mga common elements? I-generalize natin. Ano yung mga common elements which are found universally throughout the natural world? That is the positivity and negativity. Every entity possesses dual characteristics. Tinatawag natin siyang dual characteristics here in the divine principle. So kasi lahat ng bagay, even the pinakamaliit na stone, smallest, sabihin natin sand na lang, kung ganyan na sand. Pinakamaliit na bagay sa mundo, sa loob niya, meron niyang positivity and negativity. Tinatawag natin yang and yin. And comes into existence only when these characteristics have formed reciprocal relationship, both within the entity, within it, and other entities. So lahat ng bagay, merong positivity and negativity. Where's my pointer? So kung titingnan mo sa diagram, ito yung every entity, may positive sa loob niya. Ito, yung yan, sa every entity may positivity and negativity inside sa loob mo. Okay, for example, as a human being, meron tayong positivity and negativity sa sarili natin. So every entity and also other entities, when we form a give and take action or reciprocal relationship with each other, that's the cause of our existence. So lahat ng bagay merong positivity and negativity. So that is the dual characteristics. Without exemption, lahat ng bagay merong ganun. Kahit pag-aralan, so kung hindi mo alam, we can study together. And like for example, atoms, the smallest particle matter, atom, displays either a positive or negative balance. Plants propagate means of stamina and pistil. Animals multiply and maintain their species through the relationship between males and females. Right? Even human beings, we have this men and women, males and females as well. Yun nga, as what I have said, all of the things that existed here on Earth, merong dual characteristic. The yang and yin, or the positivity and the negativity. So, yun. Kung meron ang creation ng ganun, may dual characteristics. How about sa human beings? Let's see. However, there's another. So not only this dual characteristics na positive and negativity or yang and yin. Hindi lang yan. There are two sets of dual characteristics. Una lang to, first set lang to. Yung positive yang and yin or positive and negative. First set lang yan na dual characteristics. Meron ding pangalawang set. So pangalawang set. Ano yon? So however, there's another more fundamental pair of dual characteristics in reciprocal relationship. Every entity possesses both an outer form and inner quality. Or tinatawag natin the visible outer form, internal nature, and the external form. So the visible outer form resembles the invisible inner quality, and the inner quality is called internal nature, and the outer form or shape is called external form. So since the internal nature and external form refer to corresponding inner and outer aspects of same entity, the external form may also be understood as second internal nature. Therefore, the internal nature and external form together constitute dual characteristics. So ito yung pangalawang set ng dual characteristics. Ang first set, the positive and negative. Ang pangalawang set, itong internal nature tsaka external form. Lahat ng bagay, ulitin ko ulit, But here in the second set, lahat ng bagay, pati tayo, tao, lahat na nakita natin, merong sa loob niyan, merong positivity and negativity, right? Sa loob at kaloob-looban pa rin yan, meron niyang internal nature and external form. So, dalawang set yan, not only one set. Kasi I've learned this, I've heard this lecture before, but isa lang yung natutunan ko, positive and negative. Pero meron pa palang dalawang set pala to. Not only positive and negative, also internal nature and external form. So, dalawang set siya. So that's what I'm trying to explain here. Two sets of dual characteristics. And yung external form, sabi nating second internal nature here, internal nature, tapos yung external form, masabi nating second internal nature kasi lahat ng lahat ng nangyayari sa in our internal self, it will be substantialized through the external form. So lahat ng command sa internal nature natin, it will be followed by the external form. So parang second internal nature talaga siya. They have this reciprocal relationship with each other. So that is another set of dual characteristics. So two set na siya. So how about human beings? Kung titingnan natin, meron tayong internal nature and external form. Let us take human beings as an example. Human being is composed of an outer form and the body, and inner quality, the mind. So yung internal natin, mind, and yung external natin, yung katawan natin. Lahat ng kinocommand ng mind natin, susundin ng body. They have this, relationship with each other. Inseparable relationship. The mind and the body. Ang internal natin, since this is invisible, hindi natin nakikita, yung mind natin, that is the internal nature. Yung body, external form. So lahat ng action ko, it is because ito yung kinocommand ng mind ko. So yan yung dual characteristics sa loob ng tao. The mind is the internal nature and the body external form. Mind and body are two correlative aspects of a human being. Hence, the body may be understood as a second mind. Together, they constitute the dual characteristics of a human being. Similarly, all being exists through the reciprocal between their dual characteristics of internal and external form. Internal nature and external form. So yun, ang dalawang dual characteristic natin is meron tayong mind and body. At napaka-importante siya as a human being. Without the mind, we will not exist. Without the body, neither, we will not exist also. Both is necessary and important for us to live eternally as a human being. So yun. Now, alam na natin yung creation. The next question is yung dual characteristics ni God. So since sinabi ko kanina, kagaya ng artist, di ba? Malalaman mo yung characteristic ng artist kung titingnan mo yung drawing niya. The same din si God. Malalaman natin si God kung titingnan natin yung creation. So since yung creation, meron siyang dual characteristics, therefore we can say na si God din merong dual characteristics. Ano yung dual characteristics na yon? So kung meron yung creation, meron din si God dapat. So ano yung characteristics na yon? So yun, actually alam niyo na to but I'm repeating this in order for us to realize, even we as a member, we forget these things. The bottom line here is very important. So, but let's study first here. The first cause, God. So since siya yung the creator, siya yung gumawa sa atin, siya din dapat merong dual characteristics. Ang creation, merong internal nature, si God din, merong internal nature at external form. Tatawagin lang natin siyang original. Kasi bakit? Siya yung first cause. Original internal nature and original external form. Oras, okay. Haba pa. Original. So, merong internal nature at external form si God. So kung ang lahat ng bagay din, merong positivity at saka negativity or sinasabi nating yang and yin. Si God din, meron din siyang yang and yin. So, meron din siyang dual characteristics. Yan yung characteristic ni God. two sets of dual characteristics. Ang first set, itong yang and yin. Second set is yung internal nature and external form. So lahat ng bagay merong ganon, dapat din si God, therefore si God din, not dapat, therefore si God din, meron ding ganon. May two sets of dual characteristics. So yan yung characteristic ni God. The basic principle of understanding who is God. It is only natural to surmise that God, the first cause of all things, also exists based on the reciprocal relationship with dual characteristics of yang and yin. So God existed based on this two sets of dual characteristics. Lahat din ng bagay existed because of this two sets of dual characteristics. Now, okay. So the relationship between internal nature and external form, or yang and yin, kung itong two sets of dual characteristics na to, may relationships niya sa kaloob-looban natin. Every entity, sa loob ng every entity. So, like for example, si God. So what is the relationship between the dual characteristics of internal nature and external form, the dual characteristics of yang and yin? God's original internal nature and original external form, each contain the mutual relationship of original yang and original yin. Therefore, original yang and original yin are attributes of original internal nature and original external form. So si God, merong original internal nature, meron din siyang original external form. Okay? Sa loob ng original internal nature ni God, meron ding original yang and original yin. Meron ding positive and negative sa loob kaloob-looban. Napaka-deep talaga yan. Pag if you study, let you know, the divine principle is not much detailed, but there are another books na tinatawag nating unification thought na mas maintindihan natin kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng mga to. But these are what I'm explaining here is just the basic thought or basic understanding who is God. Pag gusto pa natin pag-aralan kung sino si God, malalaman natin yun. That is why I'm encouraging you to study also unification thought if you want to know more who is God. But the most important thing is to understand this one. God is a subject and in whom the dual characteristics of original internal nature and original external form in harmony. God is the subject of these two sets of dual characteristics. God, at the same time, God is the harmonious union of masculinity and femininity, which manifests the qualities of original internal nature and original external form, respectively. He is the harmonious union of masculinity and femininity. He is the beginning of this harmonious relationship. Then God is in relation to the universe. God is the subject partner, having the qualities of internal nature and masculinity. In recognition of God's position as internal and masculine subject partner, we call him our Father. This is one of the very important kung bakit pag-aralan natin yung principle of creation, especially the dual characteristics here, the chapter 1. It is because God is as our subject, he is our Father. If God, we call him God as our Father, it means we as the creator, we as the created beings of God, we are his children. Now, to understand more this relationship, let's proceed to the next one. The last slide of this section 1. The relationship between God and the universe. Para mas maintindihan natin yung relationship ng tao at yung si God. So God is the invisible subject partner, and then the universe as a whole is substantial object partner to God. In accordance with the principle of creation, God's dual characteristics manifest itself symbolically or image as individual embodiments of truth, which constitute the universe. Since individual embodiments of truth are all substantial object partners to God, resembling his original internal nature and original external form, they each possess within themselves both internal and external form, and likewise both yang and yin. So, ano yung relationship ni God sa yung universe? Okay, here, sinabi natin earlier, God is the invisible subject partner. Merong internal nature, meron din original external form. Ngayon, Kung i-compare natin si God tsaka yung universe, ang universe, ito, is the substantial object partner of God. Kasi hindi natin nakikita si God. Ang universe is a object partner of God in a substantial form. So here, universe is composed of human beings and all things. Ang tao is in lahat ng tao at o lahat ng bagay, pati yung tao, is the individual, bawat isa sa atin is the individual embodiment of truth. Individual embodiment of truth based on the characteristics of God. So, ang human beings lang is in the image here. Very interesting kasi human beings is in the image of God. Now, ang lahat ng bagay, all things, is in the symbol of God. Image of God yung human beings. Ang other things is the symbol of God. Diba? Before, we have these pagans and they believe that, diba, naniniwala sila that ang puno is God, ang araw is God, ang ano is God, because their understanding is that all things is the symbol of God. It is not wrong. Kasi lahat ng nakikita natin, that is the individual embodiment of truth. Ang pinagkaiba lang ng tao at ang bagay, ang tao is the image of God. So therefore, the relationship between human beings and God is that God is our parent and we are His children. Tapos lahat ng bagay below human beings, they are just the other creation which is also symbolizes God. Kaya in conclusion here, we have to take care all the things na nakikita natin. Lahat ng creation, lahat ng puno, lahat ng bagay na nakikita natin, we have to take care kasi it symbolizes God. And of course, we have to respect and love everyone, even our enemy, because ang sinabi dito, human beings, the image of God, not just symbol. Kaya importante, we have to respect everyone, anybody. Gaano man sila kasama, we have to respect and love them. Of course, we have to change them if they are bad. We have to change their into good. The thing here is we have to realize our relationship, that God is our parent and we are His children. And we are the image of God. And the other things also is the symbol of God. So we have to take good care of all the things. Ganun lang kasimple yung ganun lang dapat kasimple yung relationship natin. The next question is how to build this relationship. That is why we have to study more in the next sections. So yun yung characteristic ni God. Dual characteristic, two sets of dual characteristics. Nalalaman natin yung two sets of dual characteristics ng lahat ng bagay, pati yung tao, at saka si God, the Creator. At nalaman natin yung relationship ni God, saka relationship natin ni God. So yun yung chapter, section 1. May dalawang section pa tayo. Okay. Please, yun. Medyo, hindi naman masyadong mahaba. So, baan nyo yung pasensya nyo. Then, let's proceed to section 2. Ito, more detailed also about the Creator. The section 2, the universal prime energy, give and take action and the purpose and foundation. So, in this section, we have to understand the energy, the fundamental energy na makikita din natin sa creation. And paano nag-i-exist ang lahat ng bagay at bakit nag-exist ang lahat ng bagay? Yan ang dalawang tanong. Paano nag-exist si God at lahat ng bagay? At ang pangalawa, kung paano at how, why everything exists. Okay. So God, the creator of all things, is the absolute reality, eternal self-existence, and transcendent of time and space. Alam na natin yan. God is absolute, eternal self-existence. Yeah, God is the creator. So the fundamental energy of God's being is also eternal self-existence and absolute. Kung sa pag-aralan natin, um, according to Father, yeah, all of us, generally all of us here are members. So according to Father, hindi natin nakikita si God. But even in the spirit world, we can see only light. And now, when we connect this based on science, kasi sinabi sa introduction, di ba, that we have to unite both religion and science. So when we connect this based on science, in scientific term, the only thing that existed, even when we die, pag mamatay tayo, even sa science, this is a scientific explanation. Pag mamatay tayo, what remains is the energy. Kasi sabi natin, di ba, the energy cannot be created nor destroyed, right? But it can change from one form to another. That is the tawag dyan. Yan yung loss ng energy. So the universal prime energy also, if ang creation merong energy, si God din merong energy. Ang pinakasimula lang ng energy is God. Ang tinatawag natin siyang energy, universal prime energy. Bakit prime energy? Kasi nga siya yung first cause. So therefore, if God is the creator, absolute reality, and self-existence, ang energy din ni God is eternal self-existence and absolute. And it is the origin of all energies and forces that allow created beings to exist. We call this the universal prime energy. So it is one of the reasons why we existed here. Without energy, hindi tayo mag-exist. Right? Pag mawalan ka ng energy, hindi naman talaga mawawala yung energy, ma-change lang ng form. But if we die, if our body doesn't have energy, we will die. Even from the beginning, pag walang energy, hindi na tayo maisisilang sa mother's womb natin. Hindi tayo ma-form ng ganun. Kung walang energy sa beginning pa lang. So this is the universal prime energy is the origin of all energies and the reason why we exist. This energy is come from God. So yun, tawag doon universal prime energy. Ang next question is, paano nag-exist? So meron tayong tinatawag na through the agency of universal prime energy, the subject and object element. Subject and object element of every entity form a common base and enter into interaction. This interaction in turn generates all the forces the entity needs to exist, multiply, and act. So lahat ng energy ni God, yung energy ni God, binibigay din sa created beings, sa lahat ng bagay, pati sa tao. Kaya nag-exist tayo. Pero itong energy na to, pag hindi mag-give and take action yung positivity and negativity, scientifically, in atoms, pag hindi give and take yung nucleus at protons, it will not form another atom. Same here. God gave us energy, and if we will not use this energy into another being, we will not be able to exist. The subject element, importante ang subject and object. Pag hindi sila mag-give and take action, nothing will exist. Kaya napaka-importante. Yeah, so this interaction generating these forces through this process is called give and take action. Lahat ng bagay hindi mag-i-exist pag mag-isa lang. Pag hindi ka makipag-give and take action. That's why one of the speeches ni Father, sabi niya, the give and take action, we can apply this of live, like sinasabi nating living for the sake of others. Ito yung fundamental like application ng give and take action. Yung sinasabi natin lagi, living for the sake of others. Kasi walang mag-exist, hindi tayo mag-exist if we do not live for the sake of others. Yung positivity, Hindi siya mag-exist kung walang negativity. Ang male, hindi mag-exist kung walang female. Right? Lahat ng bagay, we have to give and take action. That is why we have to live for one another. That this give and take action applies to everybody. Application here is we have to live one another. Kailangan nating tulungan yung bawat isa sa atin. That is the principle na kailangan nating intindihin. The give and take action. Para tayo mag-exist and we can multiply. So, this give and take action start with God. Kaya nag-exist si God. And it busts down, it multiplies, and it was given to us by God. And kailangan natin din siyang gagamitin. That is why we have to live one another. Now, the next is the four-position foundation, which realizes the three object purpose through origin, division, union, action. So the process in which out of God, the origin, two entities are separately manifested and reunited in one is called origin, division, union, action. So here, yung sinasabi ng origin, division, union, action. So God is the origin. So God manifested himself in both the subject partner and object partner. So that is the division. So since God has the dual characteristic, right? So God manifested himself in both subject partner and object partner. That is the division. And then the union, when this subject and object partner give and take with each other or live one another. So that is the union. So yun yung tinatawag nating origin, division, union, action. Napaka-importante niya kasi because here, the three object purpose, that is the beginning on how we can be able to build and to build a four-position foundation. Any of the four-position foundation, any of the four resulting from the origin, division, union, action. So ito yung naging resulta of the sa origin, division, union, action. So any of the four positions resulting from the origin, division, union, action, namely the origin, subject partner, object partner, and their union, may assume the position of subject partner and engage an other three as its object partner, forming a communion of three object partners. When each of the four then acts as the subject partner and enters into give and take with each other, three, with the other three, they fulfill the three object purpose. So ano ibig sabihin ng three object purpose? From here, napunta dito sa what is the meaning of what is the ibig sabihin ng three object purpose? So according here, any of the four positions resulting origin, division, action, each so may assume the position of subject partner. So lahat ng like here, lahat any of the four positions pwede siyang maging subject. Like for example, here in the first, so titignan natin sa diagram, in this first four-position foundation, God is the subject. Pangalawa, yung subject partner, siya yung nagiging subject din, pinakataas. Yung object partner, siya yung nagiging subject din. And the union, siya din yung naging subject. So, according to Father, sa speech niya, in the name of love, take note, in the name of love, in the family, like for example, in the family, in the name of love, all of the positions may assume the subject part, a subject position. Like for example, yan, yung sinabi ni Father sa speech niya, example, from here, itong pinakalas na ano, paano magiging subject yung bata sa lolo? Paano magiging subject yung bata sa lolo? Yung apo niya, yung apo pala sa lolo. 'Di ba pag sinabi ng apo, in the name of love, take note this one. Pag sinabi ng apo na, "Lo, can you put me ilagay yung dito sa likod niya?" Parang yun sa Bisaya kasi may sungay. Sorry. Pero mag-Tagalog eh. So yun, pag dito sa right in the back in the back ba, walang magawa yung lolo. Susunod talaga yung lolo sa apo niya. Right? Ang nagiging subject niyan is yung apo. In the name of love, kung ang lolo, kung hindi lang niya mahal yung apo, hindi niya susundin yun. But in the name of love, dahil mahal niya yung apo niya, ang nagiging subject is yung apo. Ngayon, pupunta naman tayo sa husband and wife. Ang lagi talagang subject is yung father, di ba? Ay, yung husband, di ba? Yun talaga lagi subject. Even in the family, ang lagi subject is yung father. Pero pag ang relationship between husband and wife, kung ang question is, paano magiging subject yung wife? According to father, for example, napagod yung wife tapos gustong magpa-massage, ayun, doon nagiging subject yung wife. So dahil mahal ng husband yung asawa niya, susundin niya yung asawa niya kahit lagi namang object yung wife. But at that moment, in the name of love, susundin ng husband yung wife niya. Yung husband kasi lagi namang subject yun eh. So yun, yun yung ibig sabihin ng three object purpose. Na yung lahat ng the other three will be the object, and there is one that will assume the subject position. Pero pwede siyang mag-exchange. Yung subject position pwede siyang may exchange. Pwede sa apo, pwede sa anak, pwede sa lolo, pwede sa mga magulang. In the name of love. That is the point there. Kaya nga, if we love one another, it doesn't matter what position. Because we love one another, we respect one another. Now, ito yung pinaka-main principle kung bakit nag-exist ang lahat. The four position foundation. From the three object purpose, origin, division, union, action, nagkaroon ng four position foundation. When the origin, the subject partner, object partner, projected from the origin, under union, all fulfill the three object purpose, the four position foundation is established. So ano yung four position foundation? Ito yung pinaka-root principle of the three stages. And we will study more of this one, the next chapters of the root principle. Next section, later sections. No, yes, the root principle of the three stages because it involves three stages of God, husband, wife, and the children. Number two, root principle of the 12 because each of us takes three object partners and 12 object partners are created. So number 12 here, 3 times 4 is 12. The object purpose. Next, when the fundamental foundation of goodness and the realization of God's purpose of creation. So this is the fundamental of goodness because without this purpose and foundation, unang-una walang mag-exist. So the purpose of creation will not happen. Because within the purpose and foundation, there's a give and take action. So without the give and take action also, because there's no subject and object, then the purpose of creation will not happen. And this is the foundation of goodness because yung sinasabi ko nga, live for one another. Kahit sa natural world, sa natural world lang kasi is, ano siya, laws. Batas na siya na, like for example, yung, di ba, yung sinasabi nating carbon dioxide, animals and plants, right? The carbon dioxide, the animals will give carbon dioxide to the plants and the plants will give carbon dioxide to animals. That is laws. Law na yon. And even us with the plants as well. But pag i-compare mo siya sa human beings, if we will not give and take with each other, of course, we are giving and take with each other, but who is the center? Sometimes it is Satan, not God, right? So we are still living for one another, but the center must be God, so that it will become the fundamental foundation of goodness. So it is the fundamental foundation of life, for the life of all beings, providing all the forces necessary for the existence. Yung sinabi ko kanina, fundamental foundation for life, because nothing will exist without this. So parang ito yung pinaka-formula sa lahat para mag-exist lahat ng bagay. The purpose and foundation is God's eternal purpose of creation. So, lahat ng bagay have to build this purpose and foundation in order to realize the purpose of creation. So, from the very beginning, ito yung dapat natin gawin. Lahat ng bagay, ito dapat natin gawin. Especially as human beings, we are the creator. Now, we will proceed to the last section. So, I will give you 5 minutes, ano, tawag dito, break, yung mag-CR. And not 5 minutes, but 3 minutes, sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, time starts now. Be back at exactly 8:35, 3:32, 8:30. One minute will begin. Okay, andito na ba lahat? Nawa. Okay. So let's continue. Let's continue. Okay na? Pag CR na yung pag CR. So okay pa ba kayo? I hope I'm sorry for medyo mabilis ata ako because um inahabol ko yung oras. So actually this lecture is supposed to be like mahaba talaga to siya. And then we're trying to compress. All right, so let's begin. Let's continue the section. Proceed to section 3, the purpose of creation. So we've studied already section 1, the dual characteristics. Yung mga characteristics ng creation, characteristics ng tao, at ang characteristics ni God. At ang relationship ng tao at saka si God. Saka yung relationship ng mga ibang bagay sa atin saka kay God. So yung image saka symbol. Then section 2, universal prime energy, kung anong tawag ng energy na yun, universal prime energy, na andun mismo kay God galing. Kaya yung dahilan kung bakit tayo merong energy din. So, parang parang ano yan DNA galing kay God, tapos pinasa sa atin. DNA. So, yun. And then, merong give and take action, reason kung bakit kailangan nating mabuhay para sa iba. It is because of this give and take action principle. Not only the principle of not only because we have to live for one another, but this is the principle of God. The purpose and foundation, the fundamental foundation of everything. Now let's proceed to section 3, the purpose of creation. Ito yung tanong ko kanina. Ang tinanong ko rin to sarili ko. Paano ko malalaman kung anong purpose ko? Paano ko malalaman kung anong purpose ko sa buhay? I even asked this one before I met the movement. And then when I studied the principle, dun ko nalaman kung anong purpose ko sa buhay. Kasi, para malaman natin kung anong purpose natin sa buhay, aalamin natin kung ano yung purpose ng nag-create sa atin. Kung bakit tayo create ni God. Para malaman natin kung anong purpose natin sa buhay. So here, the purpose of creation. The purpose of creation of the universe. So it is recorded in the Bible, scriptures from the Bible, Genesis 1, verse 4 to 31, that after God completed each day of creation, He saw that it was good. Wow, it was good. Diba sa Genesis, the book of Genesis, if you read the Bible, the process of creation. And then every time na create ni God yung mga bagay, nasabi niya, napakaganda. This suggests that God wanted His creation to be object partners embodying goodness that He might take delight in them. So, ibig sabihin nito, nung create niya yung mga bagay, it suggested na it embodies goodness kasi kung evil naman, hindi naman masaya si God. So, it's supposed to be goodness. And then, dun siya mas lalong natuwa. But when God created human beings, it was very good, sabi ni God. And then after that, God created human beings as the final step in creating the universe. He created them in His image, in the likeness of His internal nature and external form, and gave them sensibility to all feelings and emotions. After the creation, God blessed Adam and Eve to be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion over creation. From Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. Ito yung tinatawag nating the three great blessings. Be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion. So after create ni God yung lahat ng bagay, then create ni God yung tao, sinabi niya, it was very good. Then, that moment also, God gave the three great blessings. God gave Adam and Eve the three great blessings. Had Adam and Eve obeyed these three blessings and built the kingdom of heaven, there's no doubt that God would have felt the greatest joy as His sons and daughters rejoice in the world of His ideal. Hence, the ultimate purpose of the universe with human beings as its center is to return joy to God. So the bottom line here is that our purpose is to stop is to obey uh, and follow the triggered blessing and to build the kingdom of heaven on earth. And if we follow the triggered blessing and we build the kingdom of heaven and earth, for sure, human beings will become the children of God. And as a children, we can be able to connect to God, and at that moment, we can give happiness to God if we fulfill and obey the triggered blessing and build the kingdom of heaven and earth. So yun yung dapat gawin natin. And it will give joy to God. The question is, nangyari ba yun? Na-build ba yung kingdom of heaven when after God created Adam and Eve? Malalaman natin yan in the next chapter. Of course, alam niyo na. Pero mas malalaman natin yan in the next chapter. Ganun na lang. So, dual purpose. So, create ni God lahat ng bagay. But all the things God created with dual purpose. All entities have dual purposes. Every entity has dual centers of movement, one of internal nature and another external form. These centers pursue corresponding purposes for the sake of the whole and for the sake of the individual, whose relationship is the same as that between internal and external form. So, lahat ng bagay, God created us with dual purpose. Yung whole purpose, tsaka holistic purpose, whole purpose, tsaka individual purpose. Meron tayong whole purpose, meron tayong individual purpose. And let's study more. So in God's ideal, there cannot be any individual purpose which does not support the whole purpose, nor can there be any whole purpose does not guarantee the interest of individual. The infinite variety of beings in the universe from one vast organic body into moving by these dual purposes. So to clarify this one, lahat tayo meron tayong individual purpose. Like for example, we have to take care of our body. If we will not take care of our body, we will die. We cannot. Like for example, if we will become a parent, as a father, you have to take care of your body. Why? Because for you to para mas makaserve ka pa sa family mo, kailangan maayos yung health, you have the healthy body kasi mamamatay kapag hindi mo alagaan yung sarili mo. That's the bottom line there. Tapos kawawa naman yung asawa, ganun ang mangyayari. So individually we are taking care of ourselves. We have this individual purpose. And not only the individual purpose, so we have this whole purpose as well. Like for example, if we will talk about leadership or taking responsibility, kung isa ka sa part ng organization and meron kang malaking responsibility, if you will not do your responsibility, it will affect in general, the department. So kailangan mong aayusin yung individual purpose mo, individual goal mo sa sarili mo dyan, individual responsibility mo, so that you can support more sa whole purpose. My point here, sinabi dito, in God's ideal, there cannot be individual purpose which does not support the whole purpose. Nor can there be any whole purpose that does not guarantee the interest of individual. So, pag gumawa tayo ng bagay, we always have to think na ito ba ay nakakatulong para sa lahat? Nakakatulong ba ito para sa lahat? Ngayon, like for example, another example again. Bakit kailangan kong realize, kailangan kong mag-aral ng mabuti para mas makatulong pa ako sa mga magulang ko. So, individual, my thinking is for the whole. Para mas makatulong pa ako sa pamilya ko. As a father, I have to take my responsibility seriously para mas makatulong ako sa mga anak ko, sa asawa ko. You are doing individually, but you are thinking about the whole. And in later on, it will surely support the whole purpose. Even if pag sinabi mong kahit diretso ka sa whole purpose, that whole purpose, it will also helps you develop. Pag tutulong ka sa isang organization, sa isang department, di ba? Kung nabilong ka sa isang department, kung tutulong ka in general, it will also help you internally. It will give you realization. It will also develop you internally. The point there is, ang whole purpose and individual purpose, kailangan silang magkasama. Sabi nga, di ba, dito, nor can there be any whole purpose that does not guarantee the interest of individual. Or there cannot be any individual purpose which does not guarantee the whole purpose. This individual and whole purpose should go together. But the subject is the whole purpose. Kahit gagawa ka ng individual mo, kailangan your mindset, your motivation is for the whole purpose. Kailangan ko mag-aral para mas makatulong pa ako sa providence. Kailangan ko maging doktor para mas makatulong pa ako sa providence in the future. That's what you're thinking. It's not wrong to study, finish your college. No, it's not wrong. Of course, naintindihan naman natin yung before, yung mga elder members natin. They have to sacrifice at that moment, and they will continue their studies later on. Because they are thinking also about this whole purpose. So yun, dual purposes. Even the smallest particle, they have to give and take. They have this individual responsibility, and it will naturally support for the whole creation. So yun, whole purpose and individual purpose. So our motivation here is to think for the whole. Always think for the whole. Kahit ginagawa mo, you're doing it individual purpose, but your motivation is for the whole purpose. It will naturally, you will naturally become successful. But the subject, don't forget, the subject here is the whole purpose. Now, good object partners for God for joy. Joy is not produced by individual alone. Joy arises when we have object partner and whether intangible or substantial, in which our internal nature and external form are reflected and developed. Our object partner stimulates us and helps us to fill our own internal nature and external form. So yes, we are the object partner of God. Sabi dito, joy arises when we have object partner. So kahit intangible siya or tangible, basta may object partner ka, it will give joy to God. Like for example, me, I love playing guitar, and even if wala akong kasama, I'm still happy. Why? Kasi kumakanta ako, ang object partner ko is yung gitara ko. Gitara ko actually. So kahit walang tao, kasi intangible or tangible, as long as you have that object partner, you will feel joy. So whether internal and external form, kasi we have this internal nature and external form, right? So it will naturally, for sure, it will give joy to us even if it is intangible or tangible, as long as we have object partner. So now for God feels the fullness of joy when he is stimulated by his substantial object partner to feel his original internal nature, original external form through them. When the kingdom of heaven is realized through the fulfillment of the triggered blessing and the establishment of the proportion foundation, it becomes the good object partner, and that gives joy to God. God also, all of us will become the object partner of God. So we can give joy to God internally based on our heart and externally based on our action, whether intangible or tangible. And the thing here is, by fulfilling the triggered blessing, we can be able, and establishing the kingdom of heaven and earth, we can be able to give joy to God. That's the very purpose. Ang tindihin natin kung paano gagawin yung triggered blessing. Here, the first blessing is individual perfection. individual formation foundation. The key to God's first blessing is the perfection of individual's character. An individual's mind and body are discrete projections and object partners of God's dual characteristics. In order for an individual to perfect his character, he must form an individual formation foundation, whereby his mind and body become one through give and take action with God as the center. So, the first blessing, alam naman natin to, but we have to always internalize this in our life. The mind and body unity, where the mind is the subject and body is the object. Always the mind is the subject. Mag-give and take action sila, but always the mind is the subject. But the don't always also take note that it must be centering upon God. Kasi you can build a purpose foundation. You can build a purpose foundation centering upon Satan. But this purpose foundation, where your mind and body is united, must be centering upon God. And when we unite our mind and body, centering upon God, we can be able to feel God at any moment. Sabi ko nga sa 6 batch, the perfection, if we reach perfection, we can be able to understand the heart of God. When our mind and body is united, centering upon God, we can be able to feel God anytime, anywhere. Pag masaya si God, masaya ka rin. Pag malungkot si God, maging masaya ka ba? No. Pag malungkot si God, malungkot ka rin. Pag malungkot yung parent mo, malungkot ka rin, di ba? That's the heart. Kasi you have that inseparable oneness relationship. Inseparable oneness relationship together, God and you as the children of God. The mind and body unity. Ang pinaka-importante dito is we have this understanding who is God and our relationship towards God, our heart towards God. Pero ang lagi ng tanong, naintindihan ba talaga natin si God? That's the question. Na-feel ba natin si God sa buhay natin? Hindi lang to parang inspiration. That's really a question because this is the perfection of individual, the mind and body unity. Ano yung center, ano yung pinaka-center ng mind mo? Anong pinaka-center ng mind natin? Dapat si God. That's the point. The second blessing is fulfilling God's individually perfected Adam and Eve should construct a God-centered family purpose and foundation by joining in loving oneness as husband and wife and raising children. Building an ideal family. First, perfection of individual, and next, building an ideal family. A family centering upon God. A family that God has chosen and blessed both Adam and Eve. A family that is ideal, where husband and wife and children loving one another, centering upon God. Na kahit anong problema, actually wala nang masyadong problema pag ganun eh. Kasi you are ideal family ka na. You instead of fighting each other, you have to love one another. You have to understand one another. Building an ideal family. Ito yung pangalawang gagawin na Adam and Eve supposedly yun nangyari. And not only Adam and Eve, but we as a human being, because this triggered blessing is not was not given to Adam and Eve only, but it is also given to us, as we are the children of God, because this is the only way that we can be able to build the kingdom of heaven. Perfection of individual and build an ideal family centering upon God. The next is God's third blessing means the perfection of a human beings mean over the natural world. For this, a God-centered purpose and foundation of dominion must be established through human beings and natural world becoming completely one. So this is a relationship between human beings and the natural world. Yung sinabi ko kanina, individual embodiment of truth ang lahat ng bagay, ang mga bagay, other things, they are the symbol of God, so we have to take care of them. That is connected here in the trigger blessing, in the third blessing also. That human beings should take good care of the natural world. The natural world will going to give back to human beings. So, and then that is the perfection of the creation, and that is the building, the establishment of the kingdom of heaven. When we really, when we have this united human beings, we have this united brothers and sisters, and taking good care of our environment and building a universe centering upon God. Now, how to take good care of the environment? This is the this is not only in the present moment. Why do we have to take care of the environment? Because this is also a preparation for the next generation, for the next pag mga anak tayo. So hindi lang we have to take care of environment hindi lang para sa atin ngayon, but para sa mga anak natin. So that they can still breathe and fresh air. Not only fresh air, but nakikita naman ito sa Philippines, di ba? We have this natural disaster. But hindi natin naiiwasan, hindi natin napipigilan yung mga calamity. Kasi yung baha niya, for example, kasi pinuputol natin yung mga puno. Pero pag hindi natin, yung bagyo, natural lang kasi yan. Kasi yung yung uh, yung geography ng Philippines, sa gilid tayo ng Pacific Ocean, and there are many, it's because of that we are, so yeah, this is yan, mag-aral lang tayo ng science next time. But anyway, the geography of science of Philippines is malapit sa Pacific Ocean, and then maraming bagyo, and it's because of that may mga volcanic, mas maraming vulkan dun sa may malapit sa Pacific Ocean. And then yeah, natural talaga yung bagyo. Ang tanong doon is paano mo maiwasan yung mga baha? Siyempre hindi putulin yung mga puno. Actually, hindi sa ibang bansa, may nakita ko sa Facebook actually. Hindi nila pinuputol pag magtayo sila ng bahay, hindi nila pinuputol yung puno na nakatayo diyan. May technology na hinuhukay pati yung root tapos tina-transfer sa ibang place yung puno. Very amazing. No, ang laki talaga ng sa crush instruction ba. Di ba ganun lang para sa that may puno pa rin. Depende lang sa paano landscape. So the point here is hindi yung natural disaster yung problema, natural calamity, yung mga calamity yung problema. Problema is yung tao, that we are not able to take our environment, and this is the third blessing. Pero unang-una, dito talaga nag-start yan. Pag i-build mo to, you can build an ideal family. You can teach your children about taking good care of the environment. And wala lang problema sana dito. Walang problema din dito. Pero lagi tayong may problema dito. So nagkakaroon din ng problema ng third blessing. It's because may problem din sa person. So pag ma-establish tong triggered blessing na to, we can be able to build a kingdom of heaven and earth. At ang purpose natin sa buhay is eto. To establish the triggered blessing by through the proposition foundation, and we can be able to establish also the kingdom of heaven and earth. At yan yung inaantay ni God 6,000 of years ago. Not 6,000, but during the time of Adam and Eve. Yeah, we have to establish the triggered blessing lahat tayo, and we can be able so that we can give joy and happiness to our Father, our God. So the realization of the purpose of creation is here. Hindi naman natin marami ng taong dumaan sa mundo namatay, pero wala pa nang ka-establish ng triggered blessing. I mean, wala pa nang ka-establish ng kingdom of heaven and earth. Kaya kailangan natin ng mag-guide sa atin kung paano i-establish yung three great blessing na yun yung purpose ng creation, yun yung purpose natin. Kaya we need true parents. Sino ba yung true parents? They are the person who will guide us kung paano mag-establish ng ideal family. Paano mag-build, to become a perfect person, to build an ideal family, and to have a dominion over the creation. Sila yung mag-guide sa buhay natin. We have to follow them. And of course, as they are our parents, so as children, we have to follow them. Whatever they're doing, we will do also. And if we follow them, kasi true parents are doing centering upon God, so we can be able to build the kingdom of heaven and earth. So God had God's purpose of creation has been realized in this way. An ideal world without even a trace of sin, would have been established on earth. We call this world the kingdom of heaven and earth. On earth, wala pang heaven. Mauna talaga yung earth. In the kingdom of heaven, God's direction will be conveyed to all his children through the true parents of humankind, guiding everyone to live. So we need true parents for us to fulfill the three great blessings. Kasi sila lang yung nakakaalam kung paano. And through this divine principle, nalaman natin kung ano yung purpose ng buhay natin. So from the chapter 1 to 3, I hope we've realized something here that we could also apply building our faith towards God and true parents. This is the principle of creation. Not only on religious explanation, not only in religious terms, but scientifically, the purpose of creation, the purpose of God, na nakikita natin siya kahit pag-aralan natin yung science at pag-aralan natin yung religion. So both, hindi lang natin nakikita yung as a human being kasi we are fallen. But here, it is explained here scientifically and religiously the laws and the principle of the universe. At ito yung dapat nating gawin. Ngayon, hindi pa tapos yung principle of creation. Meron pa ang section 4, 5, and 6, but I will finish this here. So, I will conclude with good evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Paul, Kuya Herman, for that wonderful lecture. So how is everybody? Indeed, it was a very inspiring and very well explained lecture. So, okay pa ba ang lahat? Everyone, are you still all okay? Okay pa naman, right? So I hope you can open your cameras pa rin, even if it's already done, the lecture is already done. So right at this juncture, since we're done with the lecture, it's now your turn to share your hearts, your insights, your reflections, and what you have learned. What's your takeaway from the reading? From the lecture. So excited na ba kayo, brothers and sisters? And for those people who have questions, you may also send them, and then we can go over it later after you have shared your reflections. So if you have your questions, you may type it on the chat box and send it directly to us, or send it to everyone so that everyone can also see. So, yeah. Are there any volunteer spirits who would like to go first for the reflection? Tabuha kayo? If if wala, gagawa tayo ng Wheel of Fortune for a while. Brothers and sisters, may questions po ba kayo? Yeah, thank you so much for Kuya Herwin for that wonderful lecture. Diba? We have just been enlightened about God's dual characteristics, as well as the universal prime energy, the four position foundation, and the purpose of the purpose why we are created. So if you're like me before, I have also been wondering what my purpose could be, and there has been an instance in my life where I had asked directly my mom if there really exists an ultimate being. So yeah, sin gagawa tayo ng Wheel of Fortunes, a Wheel of Names. In that way, ano, teka lang. Farewell, brothers and sisters. Oops. And, here's Fritz. And three. Ah, here. Anteroche. And okay. So, sino uunang mag-reflect, brothers and sisters? So, yan, para fair, we'll be spinning. We'll be using the wheel of names. In that way, it will be drawn fairly and squarely. Dun, 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 dun. Yay! So the first person that will be sharing to us her reflection would be Ate Mary J. Let's all welcome her with a round of applause. Welcome, Ate Mary J.
Good evening po. Naiyak ako.
Good evening, Ate.
Kumingay. Ano ko po yung siguro ang may share ko lang po na natutunan ko po sa lecture po tonight. Yun po ang ni-lecture ni Sir Herwin po na about sa subject partner and object partner po, which is center of love po siya. So, sabi po kasi niya na kapag yung sa in-example niya po na yung sa lolo tsaka yung sa apo na pag yung apo magiging subject partner, siya po yung magiging subject kapag sinunod ng lolo yung gusto ng apo. And then kaya po na-realize ko po na siguro kapag hindi po yung subject partner and object partner po pag wala po sila, hindi po sila I mean yung subject and object po pag hindi po sila naka-center of love, so magulo po siya. Kasi walang nasusunod po. So ayun po, so pag sa example yung sa sa nanay or ay sa mag-asawa po yung hindi wala po kasi. Yung nanay at tatay, pag hindi po walang nasusunod sa kanila, ayun po, yun po magulo po. So yun po na na-realize ko doon na pag magulo po sila, wala po doon yung ng God ng subject partner and object partner po, yung purpose po nilang dalawa. Ayun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you so much po, Ate Mary J. Give her a a hand, brothers and sisters. Thank you for sharing your reflection. Let's proceed with the other brothers and sisters. Okay. Next. Okay, let's spin the wheel. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, we have our next reflection sharer. It will be none other than Kuya Nicolas, 5678. Welcome po, Kuya Nicolas. Please share to us your heart, your reflection, and your learnings from today's lecture.
Good evening, leaders, brothers and sisters. So, thank you so much for this sa lecturing. So, na-repress na rin ako sa lecturing, special kasing lecturing online. So, siya, maganda is kasi naka-focus siya about sa three object purpose, which is God, the origin, and the same time, division and union. So, nandun yung relationship na even si God as a creator, nag-change pa rin yung position siya. Nagiging object pa rin siya sa pag-create niya sa mga creation. At the same time, nandun yung mga internal nature at the same time external form with his mind and body. At the same time, yung relationship ng positivity and negativity sa mga makikita natin sa mga creation within the universe, sa mga plants, sa humans, so si animals. So very siya, very God is a very mysterious being. So lecture, so ito talaga binibigay ni Sir Herwin talaga yung niya, yung pinaka essence sa about sa principles na nalalaman niya. So I'm so thankful for this kasi it's a very special thing, special program na ginawa ng movement in order to the members to become capable again to stand more and more as a strong connection, as a good signal sa relationship kay Sir LA. So, our president. Thank you so much for this evening. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you so much rin po, Kuya Nicolas, for sharing your gratitude and as well as your short reflection. Thank you. Let's give him a hand, brothers and sisters. Thank you po. Okay, let's proceed kasi marami-rami pang brothers and sisters. Okay, the next one will be let's all welcome Ate Diana, Pastor Nick. Welcome, Ate Diana.
Hello, good evening, brothers and sisters, elders. So, my reflection or sharing about the lecture is parang na-refresh ulit ako yung sa mga natutunan ko before na mga DP seminar. So, yun nung nag-strike talaga sa akin yung about doon sa purpose natin. Yung purpose natin dito sa physical world. So, kailangan natin talagang i-fulfill yung purpose na yon by fulfilling the three great blessing. Kasi importante na ma-fulfill natin para maging masaya si God. Kasi yun yung, I think, yun yung number one priority natin is to make God happy. By making God happy, we should be able to fulfill yung responsibility natin. Tsaka yung sa three blessings na kailangan natin yung yung una, yung individual perfection. Tama, yung individual perfection. Kasi marami sa atin yung parang hindi nag-unite yung mind at saka yung body kasi parang nauuna palagi yung body. For example, kapag nagwo-workout ka, kung wala kang motivation na ano mo yung workout mo, parang ang sinasabi ng mind mo, kailangan mo tapusin, pero yung body mo nagi-give up kasi nahihirapan na. So yung iba nagsa-stop ng workout kasi inuuna nila yung body nila, yung gusto ng body nila over sa mind na gusto nilang tapusin. So kailangan natin i-make our minds strong talaga. We should be able to um, remember natin to mga brothers and sisters, mind over body talaga. Tsaka yon yung second blessing, family perfection, third blessing, and yun. Thank you. Yun lang po.
Wow, thank you so much po, Ate Biana, for sharing your heart. You shared about the three great blessings, diba? Was indeed very important for all. Share. Oh, for what? There. Okay, let's start. Okay, let's welcome brothers and sisters. Let's welcome Ate Roche, 5678. Welcome po. Welcome Ate Roche.
Okay, good evening everyone. Naririnig po ba ako? Okay.
Yes po.
Okay po. So, ayun, as always, yung purpose of creation. So, ayun, una-una sa lahat, ayun, since hindi ko pa yung na-receive yung divine principle, so, ayun, hindi ko alam yung bakit mo nabubuhay nga. So, since I received the lecture about the principle of creation and the purpose of creation, so is to give joy to God. So, ayun, madali lang siya parang i-ano sa sarili na I want to give joy to God. But in action or doing something good is parang ang hirap, right? Lalong-lalo na ngayon na parang yung environment is more on Satan's activity. So, as long as I can do goodness to others na can make God happy. So, and then to become an object partner or subject. Okay, unity between mind and body. Okay. So, ang hirap niyang i-practice, right? So, masasabi ko sa sarili ko as a reflection, yun, mas nasusunod ang desire ng body kaysa mind. So, ayun, napaka-hirap. And then, as long as I live, so, practicing nagpa-practice na kailangan yung mind yung masusunod. Kasi, ayun, kasi pag sinunod yung desire ng body is more on Satan's will pag yung body yung sinusunod. So, yeah, we have our mind to teach us or to think that what we can do for God to make him happy. So, for me, for myself, so I cannot say that every day in my life every day the life that God gives to me is not centering on God kasi sometimes nakaka-commit ako ng mistakes. So, ayun nga, yun po yung sabi kanina din sa lecture na if nakakagawa ka ng mali, so ibig sabihin, si God is not happy. So, ayun, ganun din ako minsan na every time na makakagawa ako ng hindi mabuti sa kapwa ko, so I feel sad na parang bakit ganun ako, bakit sinaktan ko yung kapwa ko, yung parang ganun. So, kahit hindi tayo perfect, so ayun, practice lang na how we can love other people, so that we can practice what God purpose for us. So ayun lang, brothers and sisters, thank you so much po for this evening lecture.
Thank you so much rin po, Ate Roche, for sharing your heart. Yeah, it is all, we always, naman, I think we all are struggling talaga to attain that unity between our mind and body. And we all want to really make God happy, our Father, diba? So yeah, thank you po for that wonderful sharing. Let's all give a hand to Ate Roche, brothers and sisters. Thank you po. Okay, let's proceed to our next share. Okay, that's Ben. Ooh, very good. Okay, classic. Let's all welcome brothers and sisters of Kuya Mikael. 5678. Welcome po, Kuya. Please share your heart and your learnings and all your reflection. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, Heavenly Parent, true parents. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Ayun, so my reflection for tonight's lecture is, I think common na overlook when it comes to the three great blessings is yun nga yung perfection, individual perfection, and paano siya na-attain, and anong tawag na to. It's more of a everyday thing, like yun nga, diba, na just as ate ayun, the one who made a reflection before me said na it's mostly unavoidable to make lapses or mistakes, considering na it is deeply rooted in us, in our human nature, na to sin. And I think na nobody has been able to achieve individual perfection, except for true parents and Jesus Christ so far. Pero hopefully naman sa pag ng sa advancement ng divine principle, at sa sa individual efforts na rin natin, hopefully we can achieve na every single one of us could attain that individual perfection. And ayun, once again, thank you sa wonderful lecture, and I'm very thankful for being given this opportunity to be a part of this online lecture series. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much po, Kuya Mikael. Thank you very much. Let's all give a hand to Kuya Mikael, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's proceed to our next share. Here. Okay, let's welcome our first, Ate Sinhana, 5678. Welcome, Ate Sinhana. Welcome po.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. Good evening, everyone. So, teka lang. So, my reflection for today is about yung lecture a while ago, yung sa perfection. I think yung problema natin, that's why we cannot tawag dito, like ma-achieve natin yung perfection. Kasi yung mindset natin is everybody is not perfect. So once nagkamali tayo, we're gonna say na, oh sorry lang, tao lang kami, nagkakamali. So dun tayo like parang dun pa lang nagfe-fail na tayo. Pero yung teaching dito, we can attain perfection kasi we are taught na like how you say this, uh, like makakaya natin ma-perfect yon because kaya natin kasi we have principle and ayun. At saka, wait lang, no, teka lang. So, ayan na nga. And sa lecture, about din sa division, union, and teka lang pa, pagod. So, ayun na nga. And, ang masasabi ko lang sa overall lecture is na we can attain perfection as long na we know the principle at saka ang itong lecture na 'to is malaking tulong na din sa atin kasi outside this principle, ang mindset nila is hindi natin kaya yung ganyan, ganito kasi tao lang tayo, nagkakamali, we're not perfect. Pero dun tayo yung sinabi ko like nagkakaroon ng hole kasi yung mindset natin is gano'n. Pero to think of, kaya naman natin. So, ayun. Thank you very much. At saka sorry po kasi yung family ko merong ano dito, like grocery. So, hindi ako masyadong nakakapagsalita. Yun lang po. Thank you.
Thank you so much rin po, Ate Sinha. It's okay po, we understand. So thank you very much for sharing your heart. Let's all give a hand to Ate Sinha and brothers and sisters. Thank you po. Okay, let's proceed. I added some new na nakarating lang. So yun. Let's spin. Ooh. Okay, brothers and sisters, let's all welcome Ate Shemaine, 5, 6, 7, 8. Welcome po, Ate.
Hello.
Ate Shemaine. Okay.
Yes. So good evening, brothers and sisters. My reflection from the lecture about principle. Sorry. From the principle of creation. I just want to emphasize the purpose of why we are here in this world. Why did God create human beings? But He can bring joy to human beings, especially see Adam and Eve. He wanted them to fulfill the three great blessings: be fruitful, multiply, and have dominion. And yes, so that God can feel the greatest joy to His sons and daughters. So that is why we are grateful that our true parents are here. Our true parents are, I know, here in this physical world, especially our true mother. And while we are still here in this, in this world, it is our responsibility to fulfill the three great blessings, so that yes, true parents will guide us. And when we fulfill these very great blessings and build the kingdom of heaven, then truly we can bring the greatest joy to our to heavenly parents. So that's why I am grateful to attend this workshop, and um, I'd like to give thanks to uh, yes, thank you so much for this lecture, and I hope that I can truly learn more through divine this chapter through this divine principle. So that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much po, Ate. Thank you so much also, Ate Charmaine, for sharing your reflection. Indeed, yun nga, it is important that we fulfill the three great blessings and establish the kingdom of heaven here on earth, because it is only through that na makakabigay tayo ng greatest joy to God. So thank you for highlighting that one, Ate Charmaine. Let's all give a hand to Ate Charmaine, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. So now let's proceed to our next participant. Um, Don't worry, brothers and sisters, makaka-share tayong lahat. I'm confident to that. Ayan. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's welcome Ate Sheila, brothers and sisters. Welcome, Ate Sheila.
Hello. Naririnig niyo po ako?
Yes po.
Okay, yeah. Good evening, Heavenly Parents and your parents. Good evening, brothers and sisters. By the way, hindi ako nakapag-introduce last time kasi mahina yung connection ko. So, mag-introduce muna ako. So, I'm Sheila May Gacho from Taguig, 27 years old. And my reflection for this topic for today is about the principle of creation. So, yeah, everyone's sayings about the perfection of individual. So, yeah, wala naman talagang nakakapag-perfect ng sarili natin kasi bakit? Dahil naka-center lang tayo sa kung ano yung gusto natin. I think that's the problem. So, para ma-perfect natin yung selves natin, di ba? Sabi nga dun sa lecture, kailangan naka-center tayo kay God. So, lahat ng gagawin natin, dapat naka-center kay God. So, mahirap pa din kahit ganun. I mean, no one is perfect. No one really is perfect. So, yun. Sobrang hirap niya i-attain yung perfection of individual. So, if maybe na halimbawa, di ba, we are a candidate of, example me, di ko na-attain yung individual perfection. So, yung partner ko, like yung dun sa give and take action in the proposition foundation. So, ang magiging object partner is my husband. So, siya yung magli-lead sa akin. Something ganun. So, lahat ng process kailangan ng ng perfection of individual. Kahit may family ka na, hindi mo masasabi na perfect ka na. Diba? So, ayun. Ganun din if ever ako as a perfect individual and my husband is not so perfect. So, ako parang, yun, doon pumapasok yung for position foundation. So, I'll be the object partner and he will be my, I'll be the subject partner and he will be my object partner. So, lahat ng gagawin namin, dapat naka-center kay God to attain the three great blessings, I think. So, wala akong masyadong ma-share kasi lang din siguro. Thank you din dahil refreshment to sa mga natutunan ko before. Kasi tagal na din siguro, almost 1 year na since I left the center. So, ayun. Hi, by the way, hi Kuya Nick and Ate Rin. I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much rin po, Ate Sheila, for that reflection. And also, brothers and sisters, let's welcome Ate Sheila for right now kasi hindi siya nakapag-introduce ngayon last time. Welcome and thank you so much po. Let's give a hand to Ate Sheila, brothers and sisters. Thank you po. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, let's proceed to the next one. Okay. We have our next share, brothers and sisters. Let's all welcome Ateneo. 5678. Welcome. Welcome, Ateneo.
Yes, good evening, brothers and sisters. Can you hear me? Um, okay. My reflection for today's lecture is that the one thing I really like about the chapter one is how it really reminds us about our purpose, why we're here in this physical world, and also about the how we know also about that God is here with us through his creation and also from us, because since we are the image of God. And also like I it's okay. um I'm so nervous, sorry. And like we should also love ourselves, because since God created us, and it's also very hard like to love to love ourselves, and if we love ourselves we can also love other people. So yun. I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ateneo, for that reflection. Thank you so much. Let's all give a hand to Ateneo, brothers and sisters. Thank you po. Okay, let's proceed to the next sharer. Ding, 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 ding. Let's all welcome brothers and sisters. Ate Joanne, 678. Welcome po. Hello, Ate Joanne. Are you there po?
Hi, hello. Sorry, medyo nag-lag. Okay, everybody can hear?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
No? Ah, yes. So, yeah. So, reflection or introduction. So, I wasn't also in the first meeting in last Tuesday. So, I think I'll introduce myself. So, my name is Joan Biayo. Thank you. So, for my reflection, so I think what I really like the most about this topic is about the universal time, energy, and the three object purpose. Mm, for me, kasi I'm just so like amazed about like how the universal time energy works. Like it's like what I've heard from my sister before, that the universal prime energy, like the external form, external form of God, di ba? Kasi may internal nature and external form. And also like thinking about the universal prime energy, parang everything has it talaga, even like the smallest grain of sand has the universal prime energy. That's why it really amazed me, like thinking about it. And the next is the three object purpose. So yun, parang I really like the topic about the three object purpose, kasi like it's for me it's like really like, kasi right, if like yung pag-explain ng three object purpose is that the like everybody can be the subject, right? Like even me as a child, I can be the subject. But like the things that doesn't change is like the position. I don't know like what's the correct term, but like even though I can as a child I can become the subject, but like I will always be a child, except if I already moved to the next level, diba? So like I think parang this is the like and for me this is like the answer to the like the problem is that kasi us we're trying to exceed God at this time. We're trying to like even though like we're not yet even perfect ganyan, we're perfection, but then we're trying to exceed God. Kaya there's a lot of problem coming up. I think yun yung sa akin. And like kasi for us to like really reach perfection, I think we should first parang know our position. Like we should first fulfill our duty first in the position we have. Like as a child, my duty is to be filial and obedient to my parents. So first I need to really obey my parents first until if I perfected or if I perfected that filial piety or I already achieved being a filial child, maybe I can proceed in the next level, which is like having a partner like that. So yun. So I think I really like this topic with geometric purpose. Like pagdan, it's like it's I don't know like the term. Oh my god. Basta parang ano siya ng four position foundation. Oh wait. Um Yun, parang ito yung outcome ng four position foundation, yung 306 purpose. If it's fulfilled, like each of the bilog-bilog. Basta each of the people, hindi people, like, basta yan, sorry. Sobrang gulo ko. Pero yan. So, yan. I think, yan, I'm just also truly grateful that I've joined and again, try to like, uh, try to study divine principle. I think that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, rin po, Ate Joanne, for those wonderful insights. And I hope everybody is as well as interested and then really liked the lectures as much as Ate Joanne did. Diba? She shared a lot of wonderful insights. So as the other brothers and sisters. So napakaganda naman talaga kasi ng topic. And there's still a lot more brothers and sisters. So kapit lang po tayo. Huwag tayong aalis, okay? Patikim pa lang yun, yung ngayon. So, yeah. Stay lang tayo. And let's finish this 21 day together. Okay, let's go to the next share. Okay, let's welcome 5678 Ate Faye. Welcome, Ate Faye.
Hello.
Hello po.
Hello po. Good evening to our heavenly parents and true parents of heaven, earth, and humankind. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Uh, my reflection when 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 I first read this part of the book, like yung 3 hours na ako na yellow book, yung pledge and the principle. My first thought was that it felt really perfect, but that also made me feel bad as well kasi the fact that we were supposed to be perfect, our relationship with God was supposed to be perfect, and then it was broken just like that. It's it's really sad. Wala lang kasi kuan. So it's kind of like the human body. It's fragile but at the same time tenacious. I don't know how. Anyway. And to also I'd also like to thank you everyone here for like making this uh, seminar or lecture. Because yeah, I nearly already forgot because I haven't been able to go to seminars and other gathering events. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ren po, Ate Faye. Don't worry, Ate Faye. Even if you have forgotten, that's why the reason why we are here is to refreshen and to really deepen those understanding that we had even from before. So, diba? So yeah, you don't have to feel sorry about it. So let's just do our best and stay together, okay? So, okay, let's go to the next sharer. Okay, let's welcome brothers and sisters. The Jenna 5678. Welcome.
Okay, good evening, our parents. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Good evening po sa ating lecturer. Yeah, by the way, wasn't able to, narinig po? So I wasn't able to hear the lecture kasi nagta-travel kami from Antipolo. 6 na din natapos yung cluster leaders meeting. And I need to be there also to report for HTM Japanese partners. So by the way, I can share anything. So I know that we're in principle of creation. No? So yeah, um, it's really very yeah, it's lahat naman po ng lecture tungkol sa divine principle are really wonderful things to learn. So this certain part of the principle really dito pinapakita yung blueprint natin. Dito pinapakita yung blueprint ni God, no? God holds the blueprint and God holds the perfect plan for our life. And this is the part also in which we learn who God is, our relationship with Him, and also how can our responsibilities as parent and child, ano yung responsibility ng children and how to make their parents happy. So dito po pinapakita because we as a fallen human beings, no, most of us hindi natin ganun kakilala si God, and through this certain lecture, this part really dito, since God is invisible, we can't see God, but His manifestation dun pinapakita kung sino siya. Kaya thank you so much to our lecturer. Thank you so much. I'm really sorry kasi I really need to keep up. But so grateful to all of you kasi nandito po kayo, and yun na so for me din na the first time na nakarinig ako ng principle of creation, no, I have a lot of questions and also confusions then. But I need to educate myself. So that's why I'm here also kasi wala pa ako masyadong mahabang seminar na na-attendan sa divine principle. But I'm continuing reading the Father's words and conditions. No, I mean I cannot I don't want to rely just the lectures, but I need to really educate myself. Reading, like always Dr. Young and all our leaders always advise to us. You have to read every day the Father's words. No? So that's how we can understand to Heavenly Parents' heart, because dito kasi pinapakita yung heart ni Heavenly Parent, true parents. Yun, so we cannot just know them just by 21 days, ganun. We cannot, di natin sila gano'ng makilala, lang, sa isang set lang ng lectures, kundi every day we have to really, we learn, and we have to really remind ourselves. So this lecture is really, very important that, once again, we will be reminded of our responsibilities and also how can we really make Heavenly Parents happy. Ayun. So I think yan lang. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much rin Ate Jenna for still sharing. Thank you rin po for your hard work. Let's all give a hand to Ate Jenna, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much po. Okay, let's proceed. Malapit na tayo, brothers and sisters. We'll get there. Okay, let's all welcome 5, 6, 7, 8. Ate Melji! Welcome po, Ate Melji.
Hi. Please. Sorry. Kasi dalawa kami dito. Kaya Kamit ako, girl. Hindi yan. Mute ba? Yeah.
Ano po?
Okay ka? I'm sorry. Kasi hindi ko alam kung naririnig ba ako or hindi. Yeah, good evening po. Yeah. Yung reflection ko for tonight, since hindi naman ako ganun kabago dito. Like, I'm almost 8 years or 9 years here in this church, yeah. So, yung sa like yung sa, may reflect ko lang is yung sa about the mind and body. Like, mapaperfect mo lang yung sarili mo with pag may unity yung mind and body mo. And dapat centered kay God. Kasi, like, pag hindi ka, kung hindi ka, ay lahat ng ginagawa mo, pag hindi naka-center kay God, like parang wala, mess up siya lahat. Maybe not all, but yeah, it's a mess. Yeah. Ganun. So, then, like, yung kay Ate Jenna din na sinabi niya, like, sabi niya, hindi ka lang magre-rely sa lecturer, you should, tawag nito, yung sabi niya, parang dapat din na, hindi, dapat, ano yung sabi? Hindi ka lang mag-rely sa lecture, but you should, parang discipline yourself, parang ganun, para ma-attain mo yung perfection mo as individual. Like, thank you. Walang music. Walang tunog.
Thank you so much po. Thank you so much po, Ate Nelji. Let's all give a hand to Ate Nelji, brothers and sisters. Okay, let's proceed. Last 3, brothers and sisters. Let's all welcome Kuya Kyle. 5, 6, 7, 8. Welcome po.
Thank you. Good evening, brothers and sisters. My reflection for today is about how God created the world. So He created the world with His intelligence and everything. Hindi niya create yung world ng parang buo-buo lang, parang walang purpose, kundi si God, binuo niya yung world with His love and His heart so that we could live by Him and for Him. And also God created us not to be alone but to have someone there for us. So He created both of these characteristics and dualities, like the yin and yang, and feminine and masculine, all. Meron talagang partner every individual. And even though we are not perfect for now, we should attain individual perfection by realizing His love and reciprocating His love. And we should do everything in our powers to make God happy because it is one of our original purpose in this world. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you po, Kuya Sunrick Kyle, for sharing. Brothers and sisters, thank you so much. Let's all give a hand to Kuya Sunrick Kyle. Thank you po. And also, brothers and sisters, if you're interested to learn more about the divine principle, we also have a 1 year program. It is under Universal Peace Training Academy. So, and in there, you will be trained to give lectures as well. It's a great avenue actually to really learn more about the principle, because in there we can discuss further about the divine principle itself. So if anyone's interested, don't hesitate to contact any of us, the lecturers and the coordinators. So yeah. Okay, let's proceed. Last two standing. Let's all welcome Kuya Ken 5678. Welcome Kuya Ken. And here. Wala na yata si Kuya. Oo, wala na nga. Kuya Ken, sayang po. Sa next time, sana po huwag ko muna umalis. Okay, since Kuya Ken is not here, we will be hearing from the last but not the least, Kuya Fritz, 5678. Welcome, Kuya Fritz. Kuya, nakamute ka po.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Hello po, good evening.
My reflection in the topic, the perfection of everybody, is to know your purpose. What is your purpose in this world, and how to create beautiful the given home of your creator, and many nag-refresh lang ako ng mga nilearn noon, as a, pero ang main goal is how what is your purpose in your life, na ano yung makakabuti, ano yung purpose mo, na specific, and how I stick God on your life as people. Yun lang po. Yun lang. Okay po.
Okay po. Thank you so much po, Kuya Fritz. Let's all give a hand, brothers and sisters, to Kuya Fritz. And let's all give a hand to everyone who is here. Thank you very much for all sharing your reflections, your heart, brothers and sisters. We truly appreciate it. Also, we are very grateful for your words of appreciation. Thank you so much, other brothers and sisters. So, yun, tapos na tayo. It was actually yung section na to, yung part na to, it was very interesting, just like what Ate John said. And yung mga reflections niyo, brothers and sisters, it was all on point. And don't worry, brothers and sisters, we all are in the same position, and we all are striving to really attain perfection and to fulfill the three great blessings. Kasi naman, none of us still have fulfilled it, except for our true parents. So yun. So for the next succeeding sessions, it will become a lot more interesting, brothers and sisters. So I hope you will all stick together, and yeah, makapit lang tayo, brothers and sisters. Huwag tayong aalis. And then, thank you so much as well for making time, even if busy kayo, brothers and sisters, katulad ni Ate Jenna, who still had to go to travel. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you going here, and it's such a pleasure. It's heartwarming na maririnig namin na you're exerting effort to really be here. So it really means a lot. And yun. So to end this session, before, let me plug in again. If you want to learn more about the Divine Principle, we really offer a 1 year class in Universal Principle Training Academy. So if you want to learn more and you want to develop to become a lecturer, because we all are potential lecturers naman talaga. So yeah, if you are interested, brothers and sisters, don't hesitate to contact any of us, Kuya Herwin, Sir Randy, Ate Relina, all the other staffs. You can all just message in the group chat if you are interested. So don't hesitate. So yeah. So to formally end our program, may I request our lecturer to give us to close this evening by a pray with a prayer.
Ako ba, Bea?
Yes po.
Um, just join me in prayer. Our Heavenly Parents are always eternally grateful and thankful, Father in heaven, because every day, Father in heaven, we receive such kind of blessing from you, from the early in the morning, Father, we receive the spiritual guidance from our leaders, and up until tonight, another inspiration again, Father in heaven. Anyone, I do hope, Father in heaven, that since this 21 days is our preparation also to receive to receive matching and blessing parents, Father in heaven. I hope we can realize many things, Father in heaven, and how we could build our relationship towards you. Because the perfection, Father in heaven, of individual, the unity of mind and body started with understanding, Father in heaven, who are you with us? What is our relationship towards you, parents? From that, we can be able to center our mind towards uh, centering upon you, Father in heaven, and do things in accordance with your will. Father in heaven, this is just the beginning of 21 days. There are a lot of things, Father in heaven, that we need to understand, Father in heaven, from the very the prime principle, Father in heaven. I know you keep repeating these lectures, Father in heaven, that this is the basic principle, Father in heaven, that we need to understand. We really have to like strengthen our faith through this, Father in heaven. Understand more, Father in heaven, the hard work of our parents, investing so much just to uh, made to share to us this principle, Father in heaven. Understand more your heart. I hope that as we move forward, Father in heaven, and as we are about to end this session, Father in heaven, second session, we can be able to bring all the learnings, Father in heaven, substantialize everything, Father in heaven, that we learn from here. Because that is the very important thing, Father in heaven. How much we understand is the proportion of also of how much we apply everything, Father in heaven, to us. I hope that we could be able to share, Father in heaven, to our brothers and sisters what we learned from. Thank you very much, our true parents, heavenly parents, for everything. I would like to open for this prayer and honor. Jew.
Andrew, thank you so much po, Kuya Herwin. So before you go out, brothers and sisters, before you leave the meeting, I would like to also remind everyone to fill up your reflection forms. It will be sent to your group chat, so please don't forget to write your reflections. So it's the iba pa yung reflections, yung short reflections na ginawa natin ngayon, but you will also be asked to write written reflection. So please fill up the written reflection and send it over, because our elders, our leaders are also reading this one. So I hope you won't forget about it, and please don't forget to fill it up. So yeah, thank you so much, Odette, brothers and sisters, for staying this late with us. So yeah, you may now leave. So Also, oh nga pala, you can also send your questions in the reflection form. You can add it there, and we can discuss about that the next meeting if we still have more time. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for all your hard works. Thank you so much for sharing your heart.
See you
Thank you so
on
much to
Tuesday.
our lecturer. Thank you, Kuya Herwin. Give him a hand.
Sa mga hindi pala like si Ate Jenna, na you can review the lecture sa YouTube. Sa mga hindi nakaabot sa lecture. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Thank you for your time.
everyone. Thank you so much,
Good night po sa
Dad.
lahat.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Yung
Bye, everyone.